Brahma Baba enabled everyone to move forward by giving them love and respect. He used to give everyone natural, most elevated, full and true love and respect. Brahma Baba used to fill the children with enthusiasm, calling them in endearing terms with a loving and sweet smile. Sweet children, long lost and now found children, jewels of the eyes, serviceable and spiritual children, beloved children. Through this, everyone would feel that the Supreme Father, the ocean of love, through the human form of Brahma Baba, was showering us with spiritual love. And souls would experience great fortune and coolness, which was never experienced before. One rule that Baba used to tell us was that whatever place or whoever has been appointed for a task, everyone should give respect and cooperation to that person, even if the person appointed for that duty was younger or less experienced. Baba used to say to give your full cooperation to the person who has been appointed is the divine code of conduct. To see the weaknesses of that person and to oppose them, to sulk with them or separate yourself from that task is the devilish code of conduct. Baba says, if anyone has any weakness, it's your duty to fill that gap. To continue to speak about that one's weaknesses is not greatness. The greatness lies in removing that weakness. Brahma Baba saw each one's virtues and used them for service. Seeing an old and uneducated person, Baba would say, the elderly people are able to do a lot of service because they are experienced. If they relate the things of God's knowledge to others from their own experience, then those listening to them would be touched by that. Seeing an uneducated person, Brahma Baba would say, child, so what if you are not educated? Simply to know alpha and beta is enough. In the same way, Brahma Baba would see the children, the orphans, those from different places and different age groups, with soul-conscious vision and engage them in one or another task for people's benefit. And whatever virtue anyone had, Brahma Baba would use that virtue for the service of the yakya, through which that child would receive godly power to be able to transform his sanskars. Brahma Baba worked hard himself and showed others. Even after surrendering himself with his body, mind and wealth, and while having an old body, Baba still constantly engaged himself in godly service for the benefit of people. Service, service, and service. Brahma Baba only used to think of service and bringing happiness to human souls. He used to work for more than 18 hours throughout the day. He never used to think about his food, drink, way of living, or his comfort of facilities. Brahma Baba would say, "Children, if I do not serve the yakya with my body, how would I get a body that is free from disease and pure? Children, you should have great enthusiasm to do service. Like Dadiji Rishi, you should always give your bones in the service of the yakya, for only then will your body be purified. However much you serve the yakya, you will receive that much power and your lifespan will increase." Brahma Baba gave all of us children this slogan: "To do godly service is to make your fortune great." Brahma Baba made everyone happy and light. Brahma Baba himself always used to remain happy and would always speak such things that no matter how peaceless someone was or how many problems he had, when we saw Baba's sweet smile, our sadness and worries would run away. Our mercury of happiness would rise high. No one ever saw any lines of worry or sadness on Baba's face. In the atmosphere around Brahma Baba, there were always waves of happiness and the fragrance of happiness. Brahma Baba always brought about happiness and enthusiasm in the children and would say, "Children, many obstacles and storms of Maya will come, but you must never be afraid or lose courage. You are victorious jewels. You have the tilak of victory applied on your foreheads." Brahma Baba was beyond laziness and carelessness and the conqueror of sleep. Even though the body was old, Brahma Baba was engaged day and night in transforming the sanskars of human souls. We never saw any signs of tiredness in Baba's life. Baba never postponed anything due to laziness. Whatever work came in front of Brahma Baba, he never did that with half a mind. He did not make mistakes or have carelessness, but instead with a full heart, with great determination, he completed it with great enthusiasm. No matter how many obstacles there were, even if in the beginning the task seemed impossible, even under all circumstances, he definitely found one way or another way to complete that task. This was the sparkle, the shine, the power of the mind, determination and fulfillment of Brahma Baba's promise. Pita Shri completely renounced the consciousness of I and claimed number one. Many children also had renunciation, but, let alone speaking about it, Baba never even had the feeling of having renounced anything. Baba used to say, instead of shells, I have received the sovereignty of heaven. Baba used to keep his form so simple that no one would be able to know him as Prajapita Brahma. However, behind his simplicity was greatness. The shadow of the future world emperor was revealed. Any desire for respect or honor was miles away from him. Baba never kept anything for himself. Many times children would say, Baba, leave this broken down building and stay in the new building. Baba would reply, children, Shiv Baba has come in the old body and the old world, so Baba will also stay in the old building. The new building is for the children. No one else could have such renunciation. Because of the renunciation of the consciousness of I, Baba was always carefree and unshakeable. Brahma Baba was the most elevated yogi. While speaking, Baba would disappear from the body, that is, he would become bodiless. It was as though Baba was hearing everything and yet was completely immune to it. Baba would never listen to any service news of expansion or give an expansive response. When coming into sound, Baba would stay beyond sound and with just a couple of elevated versions, he would make all of us fly beyond sound. In his final days, we only saw silence and dead silence in Baba's room. Brahma Baba was constantly carefree and had an unshakable stage. In 1965, Brahma Baba was suddenly taken ill with a physical illness. The doctors in Abu suggested that Brahma Baba should have an operation in Bombay. With serious faces filled with worry, they said, at such an age, very few such operations were successful. Hearing this from the doctor, some children's minds became emotional. However, there were no signs of any illness or pain on Baba's sparkling face. Baba was in his carefree and unshakable stage. Seeing the children's faces serious and filled with worry, Baba said sweetly, "Children, I'm fine. Yes, I'm completely fine. All of you know that this is an old body and old things definitely need patchwork, but nothing has really happened to Baba. Children, don't worry." This stage of Brahma Babas inspired the children in a subtle way. Even if the most difficult test of Maya comes through the body, then by remaining detached from the body and in a soul-conscious stage, and with the practice of staying in remembrance of God, you have to become so strong that it's not able to spoil your stage even slightly.
We always saw Baba in the state of happiness that opens the forehead. Baba used to say, "Children, when a wedding is taking place in someone's home, they have bands playing drums and wedding music. Many times, Baba thinks that there should be drums of happiness playing here for 24 hours, because souls are getting engaged and married here to Amarnath, God Shiva. Nothing can be of greater happiness than this. In this way, Baba was a physical powerhouse of happiness and enthusiasm. He always had the enthusiasm to give God's message. The happiness of Shiv Baba's incarnation and meeting with him was so profound that there was a deep impact of that happiness in Baba's thoughts, words, and deeds, such that when even the most peaceless soul came close to Baba, he would experience unlimited happiness. Baba would say, "Child, your mercury of happiness should rise from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. That is, you should have the happiness that opens your forehead. You have found Trikaldarshi, Trilokinath, the Almighty Authority, Shiv Baba himself, and he is making you worthy to have a right to the fortune of the kingdom of heaven for 2,500 years." Brahma Baba was always experiencing unlimited happiness that opens the forehead. In Karachi, when children used to go and sit by the seashore, Baba would say in sweet and loving words, "Children, are you seeing the waves of the ocean? Look how the waves of the ocean are coming up to you, children, and then going away again. You are the children of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the ocean of knowledge. And so you have to pick up this virtue from the ocean, so that if waves of Maya enter your mind, you have to make them go away." Then Baba would say, "Children, look, you may throw rubbish into the ocean, but it doesn't remain in the ocean. The rubbish is thrown out by the waves of the ocean to the shores. So you should have the same nature as the ocean. No rubbish should stay in the minds of you children. When a diver dives into the ocean, he brings back pearls and jewels from the ocean. You children have to churn the ocean of knowledge in the same way. Go into the depths of knowledge and you will find precious pearls, jewels, and diamonds. Look, on the surface, there may be very many waves in the ocean, but it is completely still below. You also have to become as still and patient." Seeing the sallygrams on the seashore, Baba would say, "Look how this stone has been rubbed against the waves of the water and has become a worship-worthy sallygram. In the same way, if you tolerate all difficulties and move along in the waves of the ocean of knowledge, then one day you will become very clean and worship-worthy. That is, very pure." Brahma Baba was still like an ocean.
Brahma Baba had simplicity and respectful behavior. Baba was a great example of simplicity. He used to live in a small room that was very old, and had a tin roof. That room was his restroom, his dining room, his office, and meeting place with the children. A white sheet covered his bed. The walls were painted white. There was no special decoration in his room, and it was very simple outside too. Sitting in that room, Baba, the image of service, gave new life to so many souls. So many sat there and experienced the happiness of meeting God and had the thought of surrendering themselves to God. Baba didn't have any artificial decoration on himself or in his room. Baba would say, "Children, whoever has given even 1 paisa for this godly service, that 1 paisa is more valuable than 100,000 rupees. It is for purifying human souls and the service of giving them peace. I cannot spend it for my own comfort or happiness. That would be dishonest with the treasure entrusted to me." Baba never told anyone off individually, but always spoke to everyone with gentle and sweet, pure feelings and respectful words. Because of his sweet words, his sweet drishti, his sweet interaction, sweet things of knowledge, and his sweet smile, his place of residence was named Madhuban, Tapovan, the land of Tapasya.
Although a human soul, he was different from all other human beings. He had fatherly love for everyone, just as a father becomes very happy when his children claim a good status. In the same way, Baba too would be happy. A worthy father always has the desire for all his children to be always worthy and remain happy. Baba always used to have such feelings for all human souls. He would say, "Some children also remain pure even after being married. That is, they are even ahead of the sannyasis." When some children did godly service very well, Baba would say, "This child is seated on the Father's heart throne. He does even more service than Baba does. This child is even more clever than Baba is in explaining knowledge to souls." Seeing souls make intense effort in this way, or seeing them being successful in their lives, Baba would be very happy. He would write letters to children again and again and increase their happiness, zeal, and enthusiasm. He would guide them and protect them from the suffering of Maya. Baba gave cooperation and protection to every child and forged their loving relationships to Shiv Baba. While fulfilling the responsibility of the Alokik Father, he taught the children the lesson of being an Alokik, that is, a spiritual child. Brahma Baba was always willing to give love, help, and protection. Giving everyone a blessing and making them worthy and engaging them in godly service was Brahma Baba's special art. He made someone so versatile in construction that one became perfect and built Panda Bhavan and Yoga Bhavan, etc. He taught someone accounting skills. He blessed some with the art of taking notes and others with writing skills. Someone who had not been educated in a particular subject at school was made more capable and experienced than one who had studied and been educated in that subject. This was Baba's wonder. Today, those children are engaged in doing such unlimited service in an alokik way that, seeing their special skills, people become amazed at how such an unlimited task is being carried out without any sorrow, conflict, or fighting. His permanent smile, the sparkle of Shiv Baba's remembrance in his eyes, the sweetness and spirituality in his versions, and benefit for people at every step, his humility, even though he was so great, his fearlessness when faced with adverse situations, his carefree nature, his truth, his contentment, and his constantly flowing love, his unbroken love for God and his unshakable faith. Such was his multifaceted personality. Brahma Baba had the art of making everyone worthy. When you looked into Brahma Baba's eyes, you didn't have to make any effort to forget your body. It felt as though the soul had become bodiless and was going somewhere at the speed of light, far, far away beyond the sky, into the world of light. This experience was just as subtle as it was deep and enlightening. It enabled the soul to stay in the avyakt stage even afterwards. From this, you can clearly understand how impactful, powerful, and deep Baba's stage of yoga must have been, and how much he himself would have been in the stage of being beyond the body. In the avyakt stage, Brahma Baba had powerful drishti that took you beyond the consciousness of the body. Baba had great depth of knowledge, and this was why there was a unique sparkle of intoxication of knowledge in his life. This was why he always used to say, "This knowledge is precious, for these are imperishable jewels." The knowledge that he spoke of was filled with love. There was such a unique blend of knowledge and love in his life that it was impossible to speak of the two separately. Some of those who came into contact with Baba would say that they experienced more love in their life, and others would say that Baba initially gave them some love and would then try to take them into the depths of knowledge. In fact, that was the perception of the observer, and both were right in their own way. In fact, Baba's words of knowledge were never spoken without love, and his loving words were always filled with knowledge. And the aim of both love and knowledge was to make all human souls pure and yogi. There was a unique blend of knowledge and love in Baba's life. Baba had such love based on knowledge for Shiv Baba that he would make every situation instrumental for him to stay in remembrance. If any problem came in front of him, he would say, "Remember Shiv Baba, for only then will your effort be complete." Baba would also make worldly physical situations a means to remember Shiv Baba. Simply saying, "Baba, Baba," there was always remembrance of sweet Baba in his mind. Just as at night, two very close young friends would go to their own homes to sleep, and then in the morning would go to the other's house and go to study or play together. In the same way, Baba could not stay without Shiv Baba. They never became separated from one another through the night. Baba used to say, "I am sleeping with Baba." This was such a deep relationship of love and remembrance. Brahma Baba had remembrance at every step. Baba had every type of balance in his life. He would give full emphasis to becoming soul conscious, but at the same time, he never advocated being careless about physical health or looking after the body. Yes, he did say that you mustn't waste your breath in speaking about your physical illness again and again, because the elements are tamo pradhan today. Yes, on the path of ignorance, we have performed sinful actions, and so there will definitely be some disease and illness. So if we focused our mind and intellects on that, we would not then be able to make time to remember Shiv Baba. He used to say, "Children, work with both medicine and blessings, and while doing service, do not forget to have yoga. Otherwise, the sanskaras of body consciousness will become firm." On this, he would say, that body is very valuable, and so you have to keep it in good condition so that you are able to do godly service with it, and so that there are no obstacles in your yoga. Baba would ask us to have good food, and at the same time would advise us not to spend too much for sustaining our stomachs, to remain free from attractions. He would feed us totally with a lot of love and would take the children for picnics, but at the same time, he would divert our minds away from taking food and drink from the streets outside and would quieten the desires of our minds. He was very firm in making us do service and performing actions tirelessly. However, at the same time, he would also draw our attention to the state of our minds and our personal efforts. He would also caution us about the damage that carelessness could cause us. Brahma Baba had a unique balance in life.